Let's now shift our focus to Uganda, where the political temperature is heating up fast. The man challenging President Yoweri Museveni, who has been 40 years in power, has just pulled one of the biggest campaign crowds Kampala has seen in years. Robert Chagulanyi, better known as Bobi Wine, took the capital by storm. Tens of thousands lined the streets, waving flags, climbing rooftops and running alongside his convoy. The 43-year-old musician turned politician is now the main face of Uganda's opposition. Wine's convoy swept through the suburbs despite a police order restricting rallies to controlled areas. Security forces were deployed heavily along the route. Tear gas was fired at one location in an attempt to break up the crowds. Before the rally, Wine visited a maximum security prison where several of his party officials and supporters are detained. And when he finally spoke to the crowd, the message was blunt.
We come here, but not for the usual politics. We come here to ask for your vote, but not the usual vote. We come here because we are into what we call a revolution. Our main aim to remove Museveni from the presidency.
Now, for many in Uganda, especially the youth, Wine represents something deeper than a presidential candidate. They see him as a chance for a reset, a government that listens, and a system that works for them.
Without a doubt, I am going to vote him because he is on the right track, and additionally, he is promising a new Uganda, with fresh ideas and a fresh Uganda which gives liberty to speak freely. That's the fresh Uganda that he promises us.
I support Bobi Wine for the reasons below. When we, the women, go out to look for jobs, we are demanded to pay connection fees. So what I believe is that when Bobi Wine gets into power, he will bring change and we won't have to pay connection fees to qualify to get a job.
And this isn't Bobi Wine's first attempt at the presidency. In 2021, he lost to Museveni in an election filled with allegations of fraud, intimidation and violence. He has been arrested multiple times and has accused security agencies of torture. And tensions are still high. Museveni's son, the army chief, has repeatedly threatened Wine online, at one point suggesting he would behead him. Wine says he does not take those threats lightly and that there had been multiple attempts on his life. He claims there have been targeted attacks and killings linked to the state.
There's been a wave of murders, state-sanctioned murders. In November, there was a massacre. More than 100 people were killed, although President Museveni mentions only 54, killed by the police and the military, shot, execution style. So it has been more or less of a war zone.
And the crackdown isn't limited to Wine. Earlier this month, those who attended one of his rallies were arrested. They were kept in Ugandan custody for 38 days and were allegedly tortured.
We were being kept handcuffed day and night. I was tortured on the second day during interrogation. I was removed from the cell, blindfolded, taken to a room, chained into a chair like this on one hand. One officer at the back, another officer in the front. The one in the front would hit me with blows while I'm being asked because they took our phones. You don't know the outcome, what is going to be. You have been blindfolded. And those people are even making comments. In Kasenyi, somebody told me that they are Special Forces Command. And a Special Forces Command has a very small report. That if he has 5 bullets, it is 5 people. Yeah, they were giving us those kind of psychological torture there.
Another key opposition figure, Kizza Besigye, is not even on the campaign trail. He remains in custody facing treason charges after being abducted from Kenya in November last year and being brought back to Uganda. Several other opposition figures too have been arrested. On the other side, President Museveni's supporters say Uganda needs continuity and stability, not disruption. They credit him for bringing peace after the brutal regimes of the past.
I'm so happy because my president, we gave him back, we have brought him back into his chair. So he's our president. So I'm so happy.
Uganda votes in presidential elections on January the 15th next year. Museveni has already secured his party's nomination. Bobi Wine is officially on the ballot as well. Ugandans now face a defining choice. Stay with a leader who has ruled for nearly half a century, or hand the future to a generation demanding change.